So when it comes to running a farm these days, you need multiple income streams if you're going to get anywhere. And so we set up a small campsite this year. So let's talk about it. Autumn is definitely on the way. A lot of the brownness is just down to the lack of grass, but the trees and the hedgerows are starting to change, signalling the oncoming cold. I think there is a mole in this hole. So rules about what you can do on land across the country and across other countries internationally differ wherever you are in the world. But in the UK, they changed it. So the government changed the rules so that you could essentially camp on your land for 56 days. They doubled the time from 28 days up to 56 days. And this meant that lots of farmers like me went, aha, we can set up pop-up campsites. And so because many people haven't been able to travel abroad, lots of farmers, including myself, set up little pop-up campsites this year. In this area alone, we had one, our next door neighbours had one, my friend down the road had one, catering to all different people from different walks at different prices. Now I'm going to be honest with you, I was pretty anti-campsite. I didn't want people coming on my land. I thought it would be a faff. I just thought the struggle of maintaining what people can and can't do is going to be a pain. But it is our test year for the farm. We're making next to no income. So to have a 56-day period where people could come and pitch a tent and we could charge them for it was a bit of a no-brainer, and I wasn't about to look a gift horse in the mouth. So essentially for us, setting up the campsite was so easy, and I highly encourage you, if you have a bit of land and these rules perpetuate and they extend it again, to try doing such a thing. So we basically went to pitchup.com. We opened a campsite administratively. We opened 20 pitches. Don't you chase that tractor. Come on, jockey. Good boy. So we set up 20 pitches. We put in the price, which for us was just £12 a night per pitch because we don't have running water. So we priced it really low, and that was it. So we had a website, we had 20 pitches, we had prices, then we needed loos. We hired 2 portaloos. One went there by those bins and one went up the other side by those bins. They were really cheap. There was a £30 delivery charge. They cost £25 per week per loo, and the people that rented them to us came out weekly, emptied them, cleaned them, and refreshed them. Now, the worst thing about any campsite is dirty portaloos and no toilet paper. So I did go on cleaning duty every day just to make sure they were spotless and there was lots of loo paper. But honestly, it was so easy to do. Now, the campsite was not without its troubles, however. So I'm just going to tell you kind of some word of warnings. So initially, our campsite wasn't in this field at all. It was in this field. Because this field is right next to the road, and we have a field entrance over here, just where that gate is. And so we thought it would be great because it would be a completely separate enterprise and basically shut off from the rest of the farm. So I spent hours and hours and hours with my little strimmer, strimming out a path that went all the way around the field in a big rectangle, and then cutting out pitches. So I cut out square pitches where people could camp, just like this one here. So, the first weekend, we open. The entrance is on a bit of a blind corner and it's fairly steep. It rains a lot. So that week we've spent £650 on the gates. I then had to spend another £400 on rubber matting to get it safe for people to come in and out. So we have our first weekend, people come, I let a camper van come, it gets stuck. Thank God my friendly farmer was on hand because he had to come and pull them out. If he hadn't been around, I don't know what we'd have done. So he came and pulled them out. And then it got to midweek the following week and we were expecting our next set of guests. And what happens? We get an enforcement letter. Dun, dun, dun. And basically this enforcement letter said, we cannot use that gated entrance. Now I took immediate issue with that because we have had that entrance for as long as, well, for as long as the road's been there. That used to be another field over there that belonged to us, and that gate was put in, or that entrance was put in when the road was built so that we could move between fields. But however, I clarified, and it wasn't that we couldn't use that entrance because I had cut it back. So I thought maybe they've just seen this entrance. They thought we've just cut a hole in the hedge. But no, it wasn't that we can't use that entrance, but it's that we can't use that entrance for recreational or hospitality. We can use it for farm access, but we couldn't have people coming in and out to the campsite. Now, we had kind of done that, A, because it was completely segregated, and B, because our neighbours have holiday lets over here, and we kind of didn't want the same traffic banging up the same drive because it's going to be separate. We knew they wouldn't be particularly happy, so we thought, let's put it elsewhere. However, that entrance is really blind, and I was quite paranoid about somebody possibly getting hurt. So the fact that the enforcement letter came was A, really like, oh my God, what do we do? But B, in hindsight, quite a good thing. So what happened? Well, it was my friendly farmer take two. I called him, I said, help, please, can you bring your tractor and your topper? And can you come and top a big piece of meadow for me? So he came up the following day, and I had spent hours and hours and hours strimming in that field. And in the space of 15 minutes, he had cut this entire strip. Where I was just like, oh, I could have saved so much time. So instead of having individual pitches amongst the long flower meadow, we instead had this wide patch of grass where people could pitch wherever they wanted. We supplied a 5-litre bottle with every booking because otherwise they wouldn't have any water at all. And we mowed, or my friend and his tractor came up and cut a path that leads down to the main farmyard. So people just came up, pitched wherever they wanted, had a 5-litre bottle left in here with their name on, used the portaloos. We allowed dogs, and we allowed bonfires, and we allowed barbecues. Now, was it a success? Well, to be honest, I have to say yes, because just getting it set up in the first place was a success. But after pitch up fees, we made about £10 per night per pitch. So we were able to take £200 a night. We did not do that. I think the biggest we got was one weekend where we had 14 pictures taken in one night. And actually that was kind of the peak of number of people I wanted because it started to get too busy. So overall, if we could have been fully booked the whole time, we could have made around 10 grand. I think we actually only made about 1 grand because our setup costs were already £1,000 for that entrance we couldn't even use. And then we had to minus the portaloos. But we met some really great people, like the kids that climbed the tree and put up this swing. And the lady that brought her bat detector detected 2 pipistrelles that night and then went and did a hedgerow butterfly survey for us. And the couple from Southend that came up and camped over there stayed for a week, and we became really good friends with, and who we've invited back to come and help build our house for free bed and board. And the family that came and their kids spent ages looking through this wilderness of meadow and catching grasshoppers and finding bugs and basically just being me when I was young. Another lady and her son from London who came up, and they were kind of the only people on site. And so I did them a full tour of the farm, and the son came and helped me feed the goats and treat one of the goats' legs. And actually it was a really, really nice kind of educational learning moment. So for 2022, are we opening a campsite again? Well, it depends. This year we had the 56 days, so we did a few weekends before the summer holidays. We did the entirety of the summer holiday, and then we did a few weekends in September. Next year, if they extend the 56 days to next year, it currently runs out this December, but if they roll it over and they extend it, we are probably going to do next half term, May half term, and the summer holidays. However, if they don't extend it, I may look at actually applying for a license. So this 56-day thing is a no license. You didn't need a license to set it up. It was just a pop-up campsite. With a license, you have to do more things. So you have to have a certain number of toilets per person, etc. And there's more guidance on having water and sanitation, which I completely understand, but is more faff. So we await the decision from the government to see if they're going to roll it over for another year. And am I a campsite millionaire? No, I am not. Did I enjoy it? Yes. On the whole, people were really, really lovely, really, really clean, very chatty, and I think the type of people that come wild camping, as we kind of advertised it for, the same kind of people as on my wavelength. Many of them bought stuff from the Honesty Box, many of them brought lovely dogs with them, many of them want to come back again. And so I think wholeheartedly it was a massive success, and I'm definitely looking at doing it again, and I've definitely changed my mind in terms of possibly being a campsite person. I should also add that a low impact campsite such as this really didn't take a lot of time. Cleaning the toilets once a day, collecting rubbish, chatting to people. We didn't have set check-in times. People didn't have to check out by a certain time either. So it was very relaxed. And, you know, for any business to make money, you have to give your time. And this was an exceptionally easy way with little time of making some income. Now it's done for the year and we need to concentrate again on the farm. So this coming winter and autumn, we've got tupping. We need to start milking the goats. I need to make at least 5 or 6 chicken tractors, because if avian flu strikes again, I want to have tractors that I can just cover over the tarps and still give them the best welfare possible by moving them to different ground rather than having them locked in all the time. And then also wrapping the flower and the market farm up. The flowers are still coming, so I'm still cutting for bouquets. The market farm is coming to the end of its season for some of the stuff, but a lot of the winter crops, so the kale, the spinach, the polytunnel lettuces, etc. are just coming in. So there is still loads to do on the farm here. The only problem, of course, is the evenings are now drawing in. So I better get on with some stuff.